Many people know what's in their backyard if they've owned the property for a long time. Well, many do. People don't usually move into a home with digging up the backyard being one of the first to-do things on their list. However, for whatever reasons, sometimes you've just got to dig a hole or find out what's back there. You might be surprised by the things that some of these people found. Check out these 10 mysterious things found in backyards. 650-year-old treasure. A contractor from Wiener Neustadt, a city located south of Vienna, found out how cool it would be to find a treasure while expanding a garden pool in his backyard. The 650-year-old treasure included heavily decorated belt buckles, brooches, and rings. Also among the treasure were gold-plated silver plates and fragments encrusted with pearls, along with some fossilized coral, all totaling about 200 pieces. The pieces were made for a medieval royal court and is estimated to be worth $150,000. That expansion on the garden pool just paid for itself nicely. World War II bombs. So many bombs were dropped during World War II in Europe that it's no surprise to find a bomb laying in your backyard. There are thousands of so-called unexploded ordnance dating back to the Second World War dotted across Britain. There are many stories of people digging up unexploded bombs right in their own backyards, not knowing the dangers of messing around with a possible live device, and end up taking them to their authorities. Like a resident who dug up an old artillery shell and took it to his local police station, which was quickly evacuated shortly after. If you are living in London, there is a map where you can see where bombs were dropped. Always check before you dig. Ancient stone. Amateur historian Stephen Davis of England decided to look at the history of his own home, probably for a little practice to see what he could find. In the history of the house was a reference of an ancient stone that possibly marked a burial plot from the Bronze Age, which dates back to 2500 BC. After some searching around for the stone in the backyard garden, he found it completely covered with ivy. If no one knew to look or the history of the house was never checked, this ancient rock would still be hidden there. Now it is a scheduled ancient monument. Whether it has some value or not is unknown, but it could be the headstone of a famous person's grave. Saddle Ridge Hoard. You never know what you're going to find, and surely there are still small treasures like this next one. A couple were walking their dogs on their property in the gold country and noticed some decaying metal canister barely poking out of the ground. Using a small stick, they dug out the canister and took it home to open it up. Inside they found what looked like small discs covered in dirt from the holes that had rotted through the can. But they weren't just some discs. A little brushing revealed almost perfectly preserved $20 Liberty Head gold coins that were dated from the 1890s. A little more digging uncovered 8 cans that contained 1,427 coins with a face value of $27,980. Despite the face value, the gold coins are estimated to be worth $10 million. Whale fossil. California seems like the kind of place where you can find anything. For example, a fossil from a baleen whale that is 16 to 17 million years old has been sitting in the backyard of a California resident, Gary Johnson, for 35 years since it was discovered. Johnson happened on the fossil when he was 17 years old in the summer of 1978 while he was walking a trail in his backyard searching for natural artifacts. Fragments of the whale's jaw, skull, and the baleen were found fossilized in more than 1,000 pounds of rock. The fossils had to be dug out on the side of a hill and then put on a cart and rolled down a hillside, where it was then put on a truck and taken for research. 1700 Cemetery. A guy named Vincent Marcello decided he wanted a swimming pool in his backyard in the historic French Quarter in New Orleans. He had no idea that he was about to find the long-lost historic St. Peter Cemetery. Not knowing exactly what they would find, 13 burial caskets were found, which were stacked on top of one another. When the city started to develop the block, the old cemetery was forgotten and buried. The caskets will be identified and then given a proper burial in another part of the city. But we're wondering, would you still want to build your swimming pool in the same spot where people were buried? That might be too creepy for anyone. $150,000 in cash. It's hard to know if this is a real story or some ghost story. But in 2011, an unemployed man named Wayne Sabaj was picking some broccoli in his garden when he found a nylon bag that had $150,000 stashed inside of it. He reported the money to police, knowing the law that states you are able to keep any money found if no one claims it within a year's time. Soon after this, his neighbor claimed that the money was hers and that she got rid of it because it was cursed. For some odd reason or another, part of the money was supposed to go to the woman's daughter, and a portion of the money was to go to Savage. However, Savage passed away 10 days before he was supposed to receive the prize. Wedding ring on carrot. The next treasure isn't really mysterious, but it's a great lost and found story. A woman from Sweden who lost her wedding ring while doing some stuff in her garden was surprised to find it 16 years later. She thought that she would never find the ring again, but the biggest surprise was not finding the ring, but how she found it. She was picking carrots in her garden when she found it again. A small carrot had grown through the ring, and as she was about to throw it away, she noticed a small shining band on top of the small finger-sized carrot. It was her wedding ring that she lost 16 years ago. Large gold nugget. Gold is one of the most precious metals on Earth. Just 1 ounce of gold is currently worth about $1,400. A man from Nevada County, California was walking across his property when he saw a gigantic piece of smooth gold sitting in the ground. Grabbing a pickaxe, he removed the chunk of gold from the ground. The chunk of gold ended up weighing 8.2 pounds. That's 131 ounces of gold. However, because it is also one of the largest gold nuggets ever found, it has more value and will probably be auctioned for millions of dollars. Ferrari. Probably not as much explored these days in the digital age is the fun of playing in the dirt or digging in the mud like we used to do back in the old days. Back in 1978 in Lenox, California, some kids were having some fun digging in the mud in their backyard when they found something big, something metal. The boys then flagged down a couple of law officers in the town and told them what they found, and said the top looked like the roof of a car. A few days later, they returned with some shovels and a tractor. What they found was a 1974 264 Dino Ferrari, back then worth about $18,000 when it was new. Surprisingly, the car was in good condition for being buried. Investigators learned the car was supposed to be ditched in the ocean in an insurance fraud scheme. The guys who were paid to ditch the car buried it for themselves, but for some reason never returned. Do you enjoy learning science? How about the wonders of space and the universe? Have you ever seen an alien? If not, then you need to check out our brand new channel on YouTube called Destiny. We're making cool videos and exploring exciting and sometimes strange topics on the Earth, science, and the universe. So don't wait, jump on over to Destiny now and check out our new videos. We're releasing a new video every week and would really like it if you would give us a try for at least a few episodes to see if you enjoy the hard work we put into each video for you. Head on over to Destiny and subscribe and get ready to explore the universe with us. We can't guarantee you will see an alien, but we'll do our best. As always, thanks for watching.